If you're looking for professional day trading education and high-level trade analysis and dissection, you've come to the right place. My name is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I'm here to bring you exactly that. High-level professional day trading education, all here for free on YouTube and on X. And today we are going to be going over and discussing a really stiff Monday morning market. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to fire up these charts. I hope you guys all had a wonderful day. I certainly did. So let's rock and roll. So now that we are into the charts, I'm going to get zoomed in just a little bit here so then we can see the morning action and have a bit of a discussion. So what we were waiting for here, because of the gap down, we were working with essentially gap fills. So the gap fill up to the previous close from Friday on Qs and SPY, both we were looking for these gap fills. The setup was exactly the same on both daily charts. So right now, if you take a look at my cursor, it's on the left-hand chart. This is the daily chart. Each candle represents one full day worth of action. And these charts on the right hand side represent 1 minute per candle on that. That is the 1 minute chart. So what we were looking for is it's a really wide range. Normally we don't wait for such a wide range in order to execute, but the risk either way was really difficult to navigate. Now, there was actually a quick little trade here long into this support. And I did say that that was a valid trade. And you could have made about a point and a half a share. And working out on the options, that probably would have worked out to be about a 15, maybe 20% trade. So it was a valid trade, but really just was being patient. So the trade that I took here on Qs was basically a really quick, what I call head bump. And this is what I also call trend formation. And I'll give you the idea behind this. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so then you guys can fully understand. So normally what I want in this setup is it pops up, sells off, comes back up, and we could execute there because the idea is that it's forming a trend, right? That lower high in order to come down into support. Now, I was extra patient because it was just way too far away and it's too difficult to risk off of just the pre-market highs here today. You would have to give it more risk. And the risk reward on this one, and usually the risk reward doesn't come too much into play into the trades I take because there's such high odds of working. But today, because of the setup, was just extra cautious, really wanting to see what happened. So the trade that I took instead, and I want to point out the low here, it comes down to test that low yet again, and then it pops up. Okay. So when that pops up there was an entry, and I'm just taking a look here. It was right into the opening price. So it was very minimal risk on this one because all you're risking essentially is high of day from the morning session. And if it wanted to go higher, you could probably give it into pre-market highs. So it's kind of one of those trades where you're looking for what I call half inch, 1 inch. And that's just a method in which you would pay yourself in these trades. And that's kind of more inside the walls of Tricktrades type of information, but it's literally that. I'm looking for a half inch of position on this and follow through. And that's all I'm looking for. Now, I know that really sounds weird if you're not a member of Tricktrades, but trust me, it makes complete sense. And that's essentially what I did. So executed the trade, paid myself, and that was it. It was a very quick trade, and I still managed to lock in $1,240. But the one thing I do want to point out here, guys, let me clean up this chart. So, oops, of course I did it again. So right here, this was the area of execution that we wanted. And we got literally a perfect bottom tick entry with more than enough resolution, but it didn't happen until later. So we had a perfect setup with speed and distance coming straight down into that level. The issue is that's happening at about 12:20, and I'm nowhere near my charts at that time. I'm looking to get my day over and done with within the first 15 to 30 minutes, maybe 1 hour maximum. I'm not interested in being a slave to these charts and to the computer monitors. I lived as a slave working my 9 to 5, and it was more like a 7 until 6, an 11, 12 hour day. And I'm just not interested in being in front of these charts. So it did ended up coming in and executing absolutely beautifully off of that. And then later on here, if I back this chart out a little bit, you can see that we did end up selling off. And what was going on in the morning was they were just really holding it up, consolidating, just like really fucking with your patience and your decision making abilities. Like we only like as humans, we only have so many decisions that we can make rationally and effectively before you start making the wrong decision. And a lot of the times in these types of markets where we have that extension and you're unsure of really it can keep going, it can keep squeezing up, it can sell off, it can do a number of things, and it's a highly emotional market. That's when they're going to try and attack that, and they're going to get you trying to slip up and make a mistake. So really it's just a matter of really being patient. And then if something isn't like it's not setting up for you, what you need to then do, if you have more skill under and experience under your belt, you can take a very quick trade, just get in, get out, make your money on the day. You have to remember, like, a lot of you watching this are not professional or full-time traders. So your livelihood doesn't depend on you executing a trade. And that's a good thing. So you don't have to take these trades, right? But when you are a professional trader, now I'm not saying I need to trade every day to make money. I definitely don't need to do that. But there are opportunities that I see after watching these charts that it's a good enough opportunity. You're not going in with a lot of size. It's a very quick in and out. And that was kind of the day. Today was one of those days where if you were patient, it really would have paid off, right? But again, for me, it's that trade-off between patience and slavery. And there's only so much patience that I am going to have to where I'm just going to say, okay, I'm done on the day, and that's it. So, not the greatest trade recap, not an exciting trade recap for you guys, but there were some lessons to learn, and hopefully you guys are learning something. So, on that note, if you want to learn how to become a trader and truly navigate these markets in a professional capacity, come to tricktrades.com. If not, that's fine. You don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to join the service. If not, just continue to enjoy this free content that I put out. There's almost 1,000 free videos here on my YouTube channel that for you guys to go check out. Just keep in mind that the free stuff, no matter whose free information you are going off of, it's just going to take you longer. So if you feel that you have all the time in the world to meet your day trading goals and needs, by all means, continue on with the free stuff. But for the ones that don't have all the time in the world, come to tricktrades.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow with hopefully a much better, exciting, and more exciting trade recap for you guys. Adios. Have a great evening. Ciao.